Hey guys, welcome back to this C++ series. In this and next few videos, we are going to talk about how to control flow of a C++ program. And specifically in today's video, we are going to take a look at the if-else and switch case statements. So without wasting any time, I'll quickly create a new project. Let's remove this namespace and the cout statement. First, we'll take a look at the if-else statement. Basically, if-else blocks allow you to execute some part of code only if certain condition is true. So the general syntax of a if block is like this. First you write if, then in brackets you write the condition, and below this you add these curly brackets which will contain the code that should be executed when given condition is true. This is also called the body of if block. Now let's see an example of this. Let's say you are writing a program which for some reason needs to know the age of an user. For this you write a cout statement asking for age. Then you create a variable called age and initialize it to 0. And then you get the user input from stdcin and insert it into age. Now even though you have asked user to enter their age, there is no validation to make sure that age entered by user is valid. It is possible that someone will enter a negative number or a very large number. And to handle such invalid inputs, you can use if check. So you can write if age is less than 0. Then let's add body for this if block. And inside this I will write a cout statement which will print that input is invalid. So if I run this and enter age as -10, we'll see that the program prints invalid age. But if I run it again and enter age as 10, then the validation will pass and we will not get the invalid age error. So basically the code inside this if block will execute only if age is non-negative. And since you just have to write an expression which can be evaluated to a boolean in this if check, you can have complex conditions too. Like I can check if input is too big by using the OR operator and checking for age greater than 200. And it is always a better idea to enclose each condition in brackets so that it becomes easier for us and others to understand what is happening. And now if I run this again and enter age as 201, we'll see that it prints age is invalid. So this was the validation part, but what if the age is valid? So to catch the case where age is neither 0 nor greater than 200, we can add the else block. For each if block, you can add an optional else block. This else part must have a body which will get executed only when the if condition fails. So I'll use cout to print that age is valid in this else part. So now if we run the program and enter a valid age, it will execute only the else part and will print age is valid. Then next, you can also have multiple if checks after an if block. For this you just have to write else if and then the condition. Like here I'll write condition age greater than 20, and inside the body I'll print age is more than 20. So now if I build and run this program and input age as 22, it will pass the else if check and will print age is more than 20. Basically you can have as many else if blocks as you want. You just have to keep in mind that conditions are checked from top to bottom. So if any of the check passes, only that block will get executed, and after that none of the remaining blocks are checked. So that was all for if else. Next we have the switch case blocks. Switch blocks are mostly used when you have lots of different types of cases that you want to handle. And every switch case can be converted to an if else block. To understand this, let's see an example. So let's say that we want to present some sort of a menu to users with 4 options. These options being add, subtract, multiply and divide. Then you ask users to select any of those options, and then you store that option in a variable. And depending on what user selected, you want to perform different tasks. For this you can use switch case. Basically you just have to put the expression that you want to check in this switch statement, and then in the body of this switch you have to specify various cases that you want to handle. Like in this example, to handle the case when user selects option 1, the value of option variable will be 1. The first case will be case 1, and each case statement have to have a colon. If you want, you can have curly brackets for body of each case. but it is not really needed. Inside this case, you can perform all your tasks related to first option. And at the end, you'll have to write the break statement. This break means that we have completed this case and want to exit this switch block without checking for further cases. I'll quickly add cases for all the other options. And after you have added all the cases, it is always a good idea to have a default case. Code inside default case gets executed only if none of the earlier cases match. You can think of it as else block from the if else. I'll print invalid option here. And now if I build and run this code, we will see these 4 options. And if I select one and hit enter, it will print you selected add. Similarly, if I run it again and select 3, it will print you selected multiply, which is correct. And now just to show you what will happen if you forget to write break in one of the cases, I'll remove it from first case. And I'll build and run it again. Now if I select one, you can see that it prints you selected add and then it prints you selected subtract. This happened because once all the code from case 1 was executed, there was no break statement. And in such case, code from next case is also executed even if the value of expression being switched does not match. And this continues to go until a break statement is found or all the cases of switch case block are executed. So for example, if I remove break statement from second case as well and run it again, it will execute all the code from case 1 till case 3 before it finds the break statement. Writing break statement in each case might seem an overhead, but there are cases where you have to perform similar tasks for multiple different options. We'll probably look at such cases when we start coding up some significant projects. But for now, I think this is enough. In the next video, we'll start looking at loops in C++. So if you like this video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe if you want, and I'll hope to see you in the next one.